Hey, it's photographer Cam Kirk, and I'm here with HotNewHipHop. I actually stumbled into photography. It's been around me my whole life. My dad's actually a photographer, so I've had a camera in my hand since I was a little kid, but I never saw it as a career path till I moved to Atlanta. And I moved to Atlanta in 2007 for college. And just being in college, I kind of got introduced to the music scene and the trap scene of Atlanta. And I don't know, I kind of stumbled upon it. I used to throw events, I used to throw concerts, and I remember I booked Wiz Khalifa for a concert on the Deal or No Deal tour. And at the end of the night, I didn't have a camera to even take a picture with him. My phone was dead, so I literally went out the next day and bought a camera. And that was my first camera, Canon T2i. And from there, just having those relationships and having that camera, it kind of led me to a passion that I didn't even know existed before then. But, long story short, a couple years later, working with it, and I'm here. So Atlanta is really small, so when you come out of nowhere and you are doing anything in the music industry or music field. So when I was a promoter at the time and I booked Wiz Khalifa, it really catapulted the name Cam Kirk out there. Like, who is this kid? I was 21 at the time. Who is this kid? Like, how did he book Wiz Khalifa? How did he throw a sold-out event? Like, what's going on? So that led me to a lot of relationships. In Atlanta, everything's small. Everybody knows everybody. So if you're good with one person, next thing you know, you meet someone else. Like, I've been in studio sessions where every big name rapper you can name was in the room together. That stuff's kind of normal in Atlanta. So if you got a way in, one type, a little small way in, you can kind of filter that and move around. So people just know me from different situations, gave me opportunities that led to just working with more people and bigger opportunities. Relationships were everything. I got my biggest start, I would say, working with free bands and working with Young Scooter and Future. Working with Young Scooter, I was his personal day-to-day camera guy. So working with him, I met literally everybody you can almost think of in the industry. So working with him is where I got really close connected with Gucci Mane. It's how I met Bankroll Fresh. It's how I met the Migos for the very first time. It's how I met Young Thug. It's how I met so many people. So when you're introduced with a credible source, like, it's easy to kind of just filter that and move around. So little stuff like that has just always opened up more doors. And then Atlanta is a very loyal place. So when they find somebody they like, they're cool with just rocking out with you forever, as long as you don't do anything wrong. And I keep my face clean, and put in good work, so it's just always worked for me. So I tell a lot of people, before I'm a photographer, I'm a marketer first. So I have a degree in marketing from Morehouse College. So I'm mostly inspired. What I'm inspired most is just the impact of my work and how far a photo can go. Or can I take a photo that everybody in the world has seen, or can it go viral, or can it, become an album cover, stuff like that. So now that I've gotten a little more success and more people are being aware of my brand, it even more inspires me just to see how far we can take it and how far we can take these images and these photographs and just the culture, period. So I'm just inspired by just what I can create with my friends, honestly, and how much of an impact it can have on the world, whether it be through my exhibits I'm doing, whether it be through just other ventures, whether it just be simply an Instagram post and, can this shot I just took of Metro go viral? Can we get people to repost it and stuff like that? So I'm just inspired by just how people gravitate to my work and the impact of it. So from just working with the industry, I've been able to meet a lot of artists that are on the come up. And a lot of artists can say they've had the chance to really, I'm open to sitting down with people, with young creatives, and just picking their brain and challenging them to think outside the box and push their movement. And I actually had a sit down like this with Lil Yachty before he became this famous Lil Yachty that we know today. Back in December 2015, I met him and I told him to come by my office, let's talk more. And I got to have a one-on-one session with him where I got to hear some of his music. He played me one night in Colac, Minnesota early. And I got to really pick his brain and see his juices and stuff like that. And then he showed me, I remember when he played me his songs, I was looking on SoundCloud at his view count, and I was like, damn, I had never personally heard his music before. but he had 50, 60,000 views on some of these songs early, and it kind of just sparked me. And I was like, "Yo, how old are you?" And he was like, "Man, I think at the time he might have been 17 or just turned 18." And I was like, "Wow, I'm not old by any means, but wow, that next generation is here. Like, you guys are here. You know what I mean? And it's time for me to really reach back and find that photographer that's trying to shoot you and work with you, and give them a little guidance and give them little tricks to the trade of, some steps to skip, some moves to make, to really stand out." And I just thought that it was time. And first I wanted to do it simply through classes. I was going to just teach a few one-off classes. But then again, I'm just always thinking bigger. It's like, why not start your own school? Like, why? What's stopping you? You have all the resources. You have your own studio to do it. And just a few of my friends encouraged me to do it, and here we are. Part of a brainchild that I've been working on with a few of my other peer photographers. Like, I got we have a bunch of notable guys in there, and guys and girls in there, that have been really shaking up the industry. And I wanted to link with them because I felt like it was a perfect platform to really reach the kids and reach those up-and-coming aspiring photographers, like pooling all of our following, pooling all of our portfolios together, and really coming together to really sustain this as a career path. Like, a big part of this is when I first started, there weren't a whole lot of living examples of photographers that made a career out of this. Like, they didn't have a side hustle. They didn't shoot weddings or proms. They shoot hip hop or music, and they made a career out of it. So I felt like I was on the ground floor of, in this day and age, in terms of dealing with the Instagram and dealing with internet and all the ways that the business has changed. I feel like in order for other photographers to do it and to be able to make this our true career, it takes us coming together and sustaining it. And that's what this school is about. It's about teaching everybody the right way, the do's and don'ts to be a photographer in this industry, so that people can do it after us and follow us, and we can really start a genuine career path. Like, my dream would be, in the first grade class, when they ask, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? My dream would be someone can say, I want to be a photographer or a music-based photographer, and that doesn't sound crazy. You know what I mean? And that's my dream with the school. So the school is 100% free. It's you actually don't have to have an established portfolio to be a part of the school. We'll be creating that. You also don't even have to have your own equipment. We'll be providing that. So everything with the school is strictly, come as you are, come as a fresh slate and be prepared to learn, be prepared to gain as much knowledge and be passionate about it. So with the school applicants, I'm looking for those who are super passionate about really wanting to do this and really willing to work hard and do what it takes to actually do this. And those who don't have money in mind with their goals, they're not led by money, they're not led by I want to hang with celebs and stuff like that, but they're led by just actually making an impact with their vision and with their work. So what I hope they gain from it is just like the wherewithal of how to really be successful in this world and in this industry, and hopefully they take from this, the tools that they need to actually be the next Cam Kirk, the next Jonathan Mannion, the next Chi Modu, whatever they want to be, whatever their sights are, and hopefully I can just be a catalyst to help propel them to that, and give them the knowledge they need. So this collective gallery is in a one-stop thing, and it's not even about me per se. Like, I chose purposely not to call it Cam Kirk School of Photography because it's not about me. I plan to keep it going as long as I'm able to, but I also plan to expand and allow other photographers and give them the same platform to come in and teach it next year. So a dream of mine next year is we have someone else teach the class next year, you know what I mean? And I just help with the infrastructure. Or we have a collective gallery school pop up in LA and New York and Chicago, and it just starts with me with the blueprint. So this year is the pilot year, the inaugural year, and I'm just laying out the template and blueprint for what it will look like and what it'll feel like and what it'll be. And hopefully, that torch gets passed around the world and we get global with it. I think it's an effort that the demand is there, the people want to do it and they want to get involved with it. So hopefully this school just does everything it needs to do so we can supply that to all forms of creativity and creative expression. So although it's rooted in photography, my goal is for it not to be limited to photography. So my goal is for it to expand and be an all year round course, to get accreditations and all of those things as we grow and move with it. So hopefully we're just taking it baby step at a time. You know, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I don't want to overpromise things. So we want to make it as intimate and as slow growing as possible. This is a legacy play for me. So this is something that will last longer than, you know, people even knowing the name Cam Kirk, hopefully. Like, this could be something that lasts for 30, 40, 50, 100 years down the line. You know what I mean? We're just laying out that foundation and getting that right. My biggest advice I give to photographers is it's a number of things, but the two that stand out the most is, you know, actually take the time to study and perfect your craft. Treat this as a true job. And I always use the metaphor like, you won't even work the fries at McDonald's without training. Your first day on the job, they're not going to say, oh, you go to fries, go do your thing. No, you got to actually take the time to do some studying. So don't just buy your camera, put it on auto and point and shoot. Like, that's cool for certain people, but if you want to actually make this a career and do it the right way, take the time to read the manual, go to YouTube, take a class, take a course. I honestly wish that was something that I did earlier on, because I think that it would have definitely propelled me a lot faster. You know what I mean? But that's one of the biggest things. Like, man, if you want to do this, treat this like a real profession and do it the right way. And then the second thing I do, I get asked a lot, how do I shoot celebs? How do I shoot Gucci Mane or Metro and Young Thug and all that? And I try to explain to people, when I first started, these guys weren't celebrities, you know, besides a Gucci Mane, of course. But a lot of the artists I work with, whether it be Young Thug or Metro Boomin, they weren't celebrities. You know what I mean? I worked with people that had genuine vision for their career and people I saw potential in, and we built something together. And I encourage most photographers to find someone that has that same vision and creative path as you, and that gives you the opportunity to create and, you know, the freedom to create. And you guys build something together, and you make the next Metro Boomin or you make the next Young Thug through, you know, your impact behind the camera. So don't always seek out the big names or the celebs. You know, work with people around you that are giving you those opportunities, and don't take those people for granted either.